Surprise! We are back for a special edition of the Future of Fashion, or FOF as we like to call it, which makes you, the fans, officially FOFers. I know it's not ideal, but it's gonna have to do, sorry. Anyway, we are here to talk about magazines, answering your burning questions about the jobs available within the highly desirable world of fashion publishing. Unfortunately, Vogue were the only people who'd let me in the front door, so we've had to make do. But it does mean we get some exclusive access behind the glossy pages of an iconic magazine.
How are you, Alexa?
Morning.
Morning, how are you?
Good.
Do you want to take a seat?
Sorry I'm a bit late. What's happened so far?
Not a lot at the moment. Staff coming in, got some flowers for Alex Shulman.
Flowers for Alex. Have you told her?
She knows.
She knows. The calling. Got any goss?
Not really, not right gossip,
You must
no.
have seen some things happening, especially with all these cameras.
Well, I mean...
Have you ever seen anyone having sex in one of those rooms?
Well, I don't think we've seen none of that. We do look for it, but I don't think we've seen it.
Will you describe to us where we are and what this building is?
Well, right, this is Condé Nast Publications. Obviously, they do all the magazines behind us. They're in order of when the magazine first came out. Vogue was the first.
Yeah.
After Vogue, House and Garden Brides, right up to Love, the last one.
Do you read the magazines?
I read bits and pieces, like people I know, obviously, in the magazines,
Yeah.
but I'm more of a football person.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm an Arsenal boy.
You're Arsenal?
Big time, yeah. But we have to, if we want to keep our job, we've got to just do what we're told, don't we?
Yeah. Since launching in 1916, British Vogue has faithfully reflected the changing social landscape, whilst chronicling the work of some of the most talented designers in the world. 100 years on, Vogue has grown into one of Britain's most iconic publications, created each month by a team of the most renowned fashion journalists and highly professional contributing editors in the country. Oh, whoa. Spread over an entire floor of the Condé Nast headquarters in London's Mayfair, a staff of over 50 beaver away over each issue, which takes around 5 weeks to complete. Hello, Alexa Chung at Vogue. What do you want? A stroll through the floor will lead you from the art room to the sub-editors, past online and onto the fashion cupboard. Each department doing their part to produce this lovely, shiny fashion Bible, each month for your reading pleasure. What better place to start our fashion safari than with Editor-in-Chief Alex Shulman, who, with impeccable taste and a calm demeanour, has been helming the magazine for over 24 years, which makes her approximately 29 years old. If you can just explain what you actually do. I mean, I know your title, but what does it encompass?
As editor, I guess you're like the conductor in a way, because what you've got is this orchestra of different people doing different things. So somebody's making photographs, somebody's calling in the clothes, somebody's actually commissioning a writer, and I'm kind of overseeing it and sort of, pulling in one person to do a bit more of this or a bit less of that. So on one level it's that, and then on the other level I guess it's having an overview of what we're actually going to create, and hopefully articulating that to people so they can get on and do it. And the great reward is that you're able to show your interests via the magazine to a whole load of people, and that I think is sort of great privilege of being an editor.
And when you were growing up, did you have a dream job and a clear idea of what you wanted to be, or was it that you discovered that along the way and you were just exploring what interested you?
I so did not have a clear idea of what I wanted to be. If I wanted to be anything, and it changed quite a lot, I wanted to work in the music business.
Oh, really?
Which is what I did first when I left university.
Yeah.
But that didn't work out very well, kept getting fired. But I didn't ever think I'd work in magazines.
And what was your first job in the
Journalism.
magazine? Yeah.
I was a secretary, we were called secretaries then, not personal assistants, to the editor of a magazine that now doesn't exist, called Over 21. And my boss was wonderful, and we sat together at the table, so I sat opposite her. And so I kind of literally shared her life, really, and, heard every telephone call she made, and, did all the typing for her. I had to do the accounts actually, which is sort
Wow.
of unbelievable that I was given that to do because I'm not very numerate really. All the articles would come in by mail because there was no email then. I saw how people would say, you know, dear Shirley, I've had an idea about, you know, doing 3 women who are working in the countryside or something or other, you know, can I do a feature for you?
Can we do some farming features,
Yeah,
please?
yeah, exactly. And, you know, and I'd see the ones that would attract attention and the ones that were just like put on the slush pile.
So you were learning how to curate.
Yeah, well, I learned how to pitch.
Yeah.
I learned how to approach people. I learned how to kind of reply to things. And I think that was really, really important because when I wanted to move on, then I started trying to pitch articles myself as a freelancer, but just as a secretary for somebody. But actually, I did it really well. And I got quite a lot of work, and that enabled me to move on.
This is our MTV Cribs. This is where I keep my dockets. Here's some clothes. A chambray denim, bolero. Photocopier, really good for Christmas parties. You can sit right on it. We've got some vintage Vogues here. Elton, in between Liz Hurley's leg. I actually really remember this issue, the gold issue, December. I feel like it was 1999 or 2000, wasn't it? I don't know, I just remember looking at it and like wanting to be it. I was like, I just wanted to work at Vogue. Yeah, this was my dream job. I wanted to work at Vogue, but then I didn't know how to do that. A lot of you have expressed a desire for a better understanding of exactly how to get a job at a magazine. But as senior fashion assistant Lucy Bauer's story shows, there's no textbook route into the industry.
It's quite a hidden world, you know, like styling, what does a stylist do? My mum still doesn't understand. So I guess it was a sort of journey of discovering where I fitted in the fashion industry. I kind of majored in human resources in my degree, so sidetracked and got a job working for a retailer in the HR department.
Amazing, yeah.
Did that for a few years, loved it, obviously got exposure to like the buying team, the designers, the PR, so kind of got a bit more of an idea of how things worked.
Yeah.
And then I got an internship at Sunday Times Style magazine with Lucy Ewing.
Yeah.
So I was a 32-year-old intern. And then I heard through another friend that Jane Howe was looking for an assistant for a trial.
Was at Vogue?
She is she's a contributing editor to Vogue, so she does loads of different publications. Yeah, we just hit it off, and so I was her assistant for 2.5 years. Okay, this is Lucinda's March story.
Okay.
Which we've actually just shot.
So what does this sheet represent?
This sheet is, so Lucinda will go through the shows and she'll pull together her looks that she'd like to call in. So this is already, the C means it's confirmed.
Okay, not cancelled.
Not cancelled, no. That would be a disaster if all those looks were cancelled.
You're not grading the designers.
Yeah, C
You've got a C minus.
A plus.
So
a lot of my job is working out, getting
Yeah.
these looks here on time, and then getting them back again.
Because with so many different designers, what do you do if they can't get you the look you want on the right day that you're shooting?
You work it out so you can get the right look.
So you don't take no for an answer?
No.
Okay. Where do we go?
This way.
Do you ever take things off the hangers and try them on?
Of course not.
No. I would. That story's amazing. Who shot that?
So that was Fran Benz styled it, and Tyrone Le Bon shot it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Really nice.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, stunning.
So that was shot in Jamaica. So the first step would be Fran and Tyrone discussing what they're going to shoot, where they're going to shoot it, speaking to the bookings department, working out if it's possible to get there in terms of budgets, logistics, timing. The assistant will then speak to all the different PRs. Sometimes things get made for us, so they'll maybe speak to young designers.
Oh, amazing, yeah. How many suitcases are you taking?
Depends. Lucinda puts together quite a tight edit, so on average, I'd take maybe 8 to 10 suitcases.
8 to 10 suitcases?
Yeah.
Pretty tight edit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then more magic happens. But
Wow.
yeah, so there's a lot of people involved.
So like, yeah.
How many
Can you give me
people?
a guesstimate of a figure?
I reckon about like 50 people even.
It passes through 50
Yeah,
hands.
because you've got the couriers,
Yeah.
you've got the post room, you've got various different people you speak to on the phone if you can't get a look, and you have to speak to the PR director, and then we've got people here, like if you can't get something.
Yeah.
There's a
lot.
It's a lot.
And then I'm just doing this.
Yeah, exactly.
Looks nice.
For one little page.
Hi, sorry, Alex has said the picture is fine, so all okay to go ahead.
And how do you take on new people at Vogue? People just writing to you directly and asking?
It's a mixture. We have a really good work experience and intern program, and quite a lot of people have come via that. Sometimes someone will just write me a letter out of the blue and I think they sound interesting. And some of my best hires have been via that. They've come in and I thought, I really want to have this person on the team. And there's a certain amount of luck, being in the right place at the right time, because quite often you can be in the office doing one thing and then somebody leaves and there's a kind of, you know, shifting of the tectonic plates and everything has to move around and you can find yourself in a different role. I mean, that's what happened to me all my life.
So it wasn't a calculated path, it was more being in the right place at the right time?
Very much so, yeah. You've got to be in the right place at the right time and then you've got to exploit that moment.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Great.
Is this what time you get in every day?
No, Johnny isn't.
Fashion director Lucinda Chambers, now one of the most recognisable faces in British fashion, unbelievably started her career at Vogue via an impulsive cold call to the office.
I don't know why I did that.
What did you say?
I said-
Who did you ask for?
Oh, personnel.
Do you remember what your pitch was?
And
You
just I just said, I work round the corner, I'm working at Topshop. Is there any chance I could come in for an interview? And she said yes. Her assistant was ill that day. She picked up the phone. That was really my lucky day.
Wow.
I came in and she said, you've never sat behind a desk before. You've never done anything remotely that's required here.
Yeah.
She said, but I like you. And then she rang up 3 weeks later. She said, I've got you the worst job in the building. I said, I don't care. And it was secretary to the petty cash woman.
Can you tell us what your job title and what does that mean?
Job title is Fashion Director of British Vogue. What it means, I don't know. It probably means different things to different people. Alex can use me as a sort of sounding board when we want to hire somebody or when we're wanting to rejig things.
Yeah.
I'd like to think that I'm her right-hand man. I've grown up on Vogue with her, so...
Right-hand woman.
Right-hand woman, even. I mean, the hierarchy thing isn't so important in how I feel day to day within the room, because within my team we're all doing exactly the same job. All the fashion editors are doing exactly the same job. I don't do anything better or worse or harder or anything. I'm incredibly privileged to have that title and I'm very proud of it.
Is it something that you aspired to be when you were growing up?
God, I just aspired to be an assistant and I was so crap at that. Because when I started in fashion I didn't know there was such things. I mean, I was quite ignorant about fashion. I didn't know what I wanted to do and I went to art college and I thought I was going to do something completely different. So there was never a game plan.
Do you think that styling is an art form, or do you think people can learn how to do that, or they're just born with that?
Oh, totally learn. You can totally learn. Yeah, you can totally learn. I mean, I get really upset when people say, oh, you're just born with style. That's just bollocks. I think you can learn it like everything else. You can hone a craft.
Is there a process that you follow, or is it different every time that you get inspiration from something completely random, or is it more planned and thought
I think it's different every time, and thank God it is so, because I think we're incredibly lucky that no day is the same, no story is the same. If you screw up, there's another magazine coming out, there's another chart, there's another crack at
And
it.
do you think you screw up though? Do you
Oh,
see
of
things
course.
that are, printed and you're like, no, that wasn't?
Yeah.
Really?
All the time. All
That's
the time.
interesting to know, because you always think that, the way it's presented, everything's kind of perfect, but yeah, you don't think about how people might be.
Oh my gosh. In fact, I almost rarely see a story and think, job well done. I mean, I just think, oh, God, I could have...
But is that what motivates you perhaps
Possibly.
to continue?
Yeah, possibly. I think that's where the driven thing comes in. It is like building blocks. You know, you can have lots of different ideas, and I can go down the street and think, I love the way all the leaves, they're like electric yellow on the pavement, and I think, oh, how can I do a fashion show with all the leaves? I don't know, you just see everything with possibility. And most often, they will come from the clothes and the wonderful designers that we have, who constantly give us inspiration. But I also think everybody has seen all that stuff on the catwalk. They've seen it the minute it's happening. So where does that leave us as fashion editors, as stylists? It's, you know, we can't just photograph something that everybody's seen 1,000 times in the way that, you know, we have to reinterpret it, and we have to make it a kind of Vogue thing, and we have to see it in a different situation, on a different girl, in a different way.
Would you have advice to people watching this on a particular route that they could take in order to work in publishing and work at a magazine? Specific
Yes.
to your...
Internships, amazing. And I know it's really hard, you know, when you say to somebody, oh, it's great to be an intern. How am I going to actually live? What floor am I going to sleep on? How do I actually put some lunch down my throat? Halfway thinks it's really, really hard, and then halfway thinks where there's a will, there's a way. You know, we have 2 interns every month. They're sitting right next to me. Anybody can ask me anything. Make the most. You've got 4 weeks time to shine. But I would say if somebody hasn't come up to me and said, Lucinda, can I grab you for 10 minutes? I think, God.
Missed opportunity.
Yeah. The other thing is that if you are a really good intern, okay, so Lo, our intern, when we were on a shoot yesterday, it was freezing bollock cold. You know, I was taking my bra off because I didn't like the way that Alexander Wang looked without a bra. Anybody got a black bar? Oh, I got a black bar. I would sit wriggling out of my black bar, and Lo, the intern, got my coat from the van and pushed on me as I was like trying to just like squidge my bra out and whack it on Edie. And she had the right instinct of not too much, not too little, but she was there.
Yeah.
Like there. She was looking the whole time at everybody around her, what they were doing, what their job was. All the pictures, Mario had them on the board, and we were doing filming and stuff. And after the filming, and we were all packing up and stuff, and Lo said, listen, did you mind if I look at the pictures? And I was like, no, I'd be delighted, and I'd love to hear what you think of them. How could I not want to show the pictures that we just worked 2 days on, that she's packed suitcases for, like, you know, 7 o'clock in the morning and got them ready? Of course, almost prouder that she would like them than say, Alex, I might get fired now.
Tune in next week for the second half of the Vogue special, where we'll be taking a look at the surprisingly racy world of online analytics. Sexy.
Oh, Gigi goes to 7:05.
And getting off on fonts with creative director Jamie Perlman. Oh, love a bit of a font.